As midnight strikes, tradition takes the stage. Let's journey back to America's forgotten New Year's customs, rituals of hope and mystery that once filled homes and hearts with anticipation. First footing. Our first forgotten tradition, first footing, originates from Scottish and English folklore, where the first person to cross a household's threshold after midnight was believed to set the tone for the entire year. In early American communities, families awaited a tall, dark-haired visitor carrying symbolic items like bread for sustenance, salt for prosperity, or coal for warmth. Imagine the anticipation as neighbors waited for this lucky guest to arrive, bringing with him a sense of fortune and optimism. This visitor wasn't just welcomed, but celebrated, his entry a moment of shared hope for good fortune and blessings in the year ahead. First footing connected families and neighbors alike, making New Year's Eve deeply personal and symbolically meaningful. Although this custom has nearly vanished, it was once a cherished ritual that brought warmth and a touch of magic into American homes. But who would be your first footer today? Fortune-telling parties. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, New Year's Eve was about more than just celebrations. It was about seeking glimpses into the future. Fortune-telling parties brought guests together in cozy parlors, where dim lighting and mystical ambiance set the stage for revealing secrets of the new year. Families and friends gathered around, interpreting tea leaves, reading cards, and even dropping egg whites into water to see what shapes would form. Imagine the thrill when a heart or star appeared, sparking discussions about love, luck, or unexpected opportunities. Fortune-telling wasn't just a game. It was a meaningful, sometimes spiritual ritual that filled the air with excitement and curiosity. As modern celebrations shifted toward predictability, fortune-telling parties slowly faded from tradition. Yet the sense of wonder and possibility they sparked still resonates today, reminding us of a time when the future felt close enough to touch. Banging pots and pans. Today, fireworks light up the midnight sky, but in earlier times, people created their own celebratory noise with the simple, cheerful act of banging pots and pans. As midnight struck, entire families would gather outdoors, young children, parents, and grandparents clanging and banging with gusto. This loud, joyful noise wasn't just for fun. It was believed to scare away evil spirits, clearing the way for a fresh start. Some communities even turned this into friendly neighborhood competitions, each family aiming to create the loudest, liveliest ruckus. Picture a street filled with laughter, clanging sounds, and visible joy as families brave the cold to mark the occasion together. Though this tradition has nearly faded, it once brought a deeply personal, heartfelt touch to New Year's, making every home a center of celebration and shared joy. Imagine if we all brought back this fun, communal way of ringing in the new year. What would your neighborhood sound like? Burning effigies. In some communities, burning effigies at midnight was a powerful way to bid farewell to the old year and welcome the new with a clean slate. Families would craft effigies, often resembling scarecrows made from worn-out clothes or straw, to represent the hardships, mistakes, or sorrows of the past 12 months. As midnight approached, everyone gathered around a bonfire, casting these symbolic figures into the flames. Imagine the crackling warmth, the flickering glow, and the cathartic release as the effigies burned, each flame consuming memories of difficult times and opening the door to fresh beginnings. This ritual allowed people to process their challenges, letting them go both physically and emotionally. Although rare today, burning effigies once gave families a unique way to transition into the new year, with renewed hope. But for others, starting fresh was more personal, sometimes as simple as a change of clothes. Wearing old clothes. Imagine gathering with friends on New Year's Eve, everyone dressed in their most worn-out, patched-up clothes, ready to shed the past. This quirky tradition of wearing old clothes symbolized leaving the year's struggles behind. At midnight, people would change into fresh outfits, marking a new beginning. Some embraced the spirit with humor, donning particularly outlandish outfits or wearing mismatched, tattered pieces. As the evening unfolded, laughter filled the air as friends swapped stories about their before and after looks, turning what could be solemn into a joyful event. This playful tradition gradually faded, replaced by the glamorous New Year's attire we see today. But for those who embraced it, this act of renewal wasn't about fashion, but the symbolism of stepping into the new year with a fresh slate. But the symbolic fresh start didn't stop there. Some households took it even further by literally opening their doors. Open doors at midnight. As the clock struck midnight, families across early America would open every door in the house, braving the winter chill for a fresh start. This tradition of opening doors at midnight was a simple yet powerful way to let out the old year and invite in the new. Families sometimes stood hand in hand, sharing quiet moments as the cold air swept through, carrying away the past year's burdens. It created a sense of calm, unity, and renewal, a collective embrace of whatever possibilities the new year might bring. For many, it was a symbolic release of hardships, losses, and regrets, a peaceful transition that made the start of the year feel genuinely fresh. Though rarely practiced today, the tradition provided a memorable, shared experience that left households feeling optimistic. But as New Year's evolved, not every tradition was so quiet. Some preferred a lively start with a bit of mischief. New Year's pranks. Remember the joyful excitement of harmless pranks on April Fool's Day? In earlier times, New Year's Day was a time for light-hearted mischief too. People marked the new year with New Year's pranks, a chance to create laughter and memories. Families would move furniture around, hide small personal items, or add humorous announcements to local newspapers. Even local businesses got involved, posting tongue-in-cheek signs that delighted customers. Imagine friends and family sharing in the fun as each prank unfolded, laughter bridging the old year with the new. It was a way to bring in the year with joy, a reminder that life didn't have to be taken too seriously. Though these pranks eventually moved to springtime, they once added warmth and humor to the holiday season, allowing people to start the year with playfulness. But some didn't just visit friends. They created a tradition of special visits with New Year's greetings. New Year's calling. In the 19th century, New Year's Day was celebrated with a tradition of New Year's calling, where the focus wasn't on late-night revelry, but on meaningful visits to neighbors and friends. Men would dress in their finest attire and go door to door, paying respects and extending well wishes for the coming year. Hosts, in turn, prepared refreshments like tea, punch, and homemade cakes, welcoming each visitor warmly into their homes. Imagine the sense of community, with each greeting and shared toast creating a network of goodwill. Neighbors took the time to connect, honoring friendships and showing up for one another in a deeply personal way. Over time, as social customs evolved, New Year's calling gradually faded, yet it remains a reminder that the holiday season once prioritized togetherness and respect. But in snowy regions, New Year's celebrations took on a different charm, with horse-drawn sleigh rides capturing the magic of winter. Horse-drawn sleigh rides. Remember bundling up against the cold, listening to the rhythmic sound of sleigh bells, and feeling the crisp winter air on your face. In snowy regions, few things said New Year's like a horse-drawn sleigh ride. Families and friends piled into sleighs, blankets in hand, to enjoy scenic rides through peaceful winter landscapes. Picture snow-covered paths, the crunch of hooves, and perhaps a chorus of carols or shared stories, making each ride feel almost magical. These journeys weren't just about reaching a destination, but enjoying the beauty of nature and the warmth of togetherness. As automobiles became more common, sleigh rides gradually disappeared from New Year's celebrations. But some historic towns continue this tradition, offering nostalgic glimpses into the past. For those who experienced it, the sleigh ride was a cherished way to mark the new year, one that emphasized connection over speed. And for others, reflection came through gatherings of faith. Night watch services. As the year drew to a close, some communities gathered in quiet reverence, coming together for watch night services, known for their solemnity. These gatherings were first held in the U.S. in 1862 by enslaved Black Americans who prayed and waited for news of freedom. Over time, watch night services spread, becoming a spiritual New Year's Eve tradition that welcomed the coming year with faith and contemplation. Congregants gathered in churches to sing hymns, pray, and reflect, turning away from festivity and toward gratitude, unity, and hope. The atmosphere was hushed, with each prayer and song strengthening bonds within the community. Although less common today, watch night services still hold a special place in some African American churches, honoring the power of togetherness and renewal. It's a reminder that New Year's can be a time of spiritual renewal as well as celebration. But for some, marking the new year included a unique family meal. Eating pickled herring. Picture a midnight meal shared with family, each bite steeped in tradition and hope for the future. In many households, eating pickled herring at midnight was as essential to New Year's Eve as the countdown itself. This silver-colored fish, believed to bring prosperity and abundance, was a tradition rooted in Scandinavian and Eastern European heritage. Families would gather to enjoy the dish, each mouthful a hopeful wish for fortune in the new year. In some homes, herring was served alongside foods like pork or black-eyed peas, each with its own symbolism of good luck. Although less common today, the pickled herring tradition continues in certain communities, connecting generations through shared customs. For many, it's more than just food. It's a taste of home, heritage, and optimism for the coming year, a reminder of the power of simple traditions to bring us closer together. Fireworks on New Year's Day, not Eve. Imagine New Year's morning breaking with bright, colorful explosions across the sky, an energizing start to the year. Before New Year's Eve, fireworks became the norm. Early American celebrations saved fireworks for New Year's Day. This custom, rooted in European traditions where cannon fire often marked major holidays, symbolized a fresh start and filled the morning with festive energy. Families gathered in both rural and urban areas to watch these daytime displays, often following church services or family gatherings. Picture a community coming together under the dazzling colors that lit up the daylight sky, the sounds of laughter and cheer echoing. Over time, as midnight countdowns grew in popularity, fireworks shifted to New Year's Eve, and this tradition slowly disappeared. Today, it's rare to see New Year's Day fireworks, but they once set the perfect tone for new beginnings. In rural communities, some instead celebrated with another ritual: apple wassailing. Apple wassailing. In early American apple orchards, communities gathered for apple wassailing, a lively tradition brought over by English settlers. Neighbors would gather around the trees, pouring cider at their roots, singing wassail songs, and offering blessings to wake the trees and ensure a healthy harvest. Imagine the scene: the crisp winter air filled with song, cider toasts, and laughter as friends and family celebrated the land that sustained them. Apple wassailing wasn't just about the trees. It was a joyful way to honor nature and community, a mix of superstition and gratitude for a prosperous year ahead. While rarely practiced today, some rural communities still honor apple wassailing, keeping its charm and sense of unity alive. For those who took part, it was a beautiful blend of agriculture, community, and ritual, a reminder of a time when people's lives were deeply connected to the land. But some traditions were celebrated indoors with thoughtful gestures. Exchanging New Year's calling cards. In the Victorian era, New Year's wouldn't be complete without exchanging elegant calling cards, a thoughtful way to send good wishes for the year ahead. Unlike Christmas or Valentine's Day cards, New Year's calling cards were more personal, adorned with beautiful designs, floral motifs, and messages like, "A Happy New Year to you." Friends and family would exchange these small mementos as they made visits, each card a symbol of goodwill and appreciation. Imagine receiving a stack of these intricately designed cards, each one a tangible wish for happiness and fortune. As the tradition of New Year's calling faded, so did these lovely keepsakes, which are now mostly found in antique collections. They're a charming reminder of a time when good wishes were shared in person, preserving friendships and community bonds. As New Year's celebrations changed, so did the gatherings themselves, with some people marking the occasion in grand, elegant style. New Year's Ball. Long before the iconic Times Square ball drop, New Year's Eve was celebrated with elegance and grandeur at New Year's balls. Held in luxurious hotels or local halls, these events were filled with lively dancing, live music, and champagne toasts that flowed until the early hours. Guests arrived in their finest formal attire, excited to ring in the new year with sophistication and style. Picture the scene: glittering gowns, black tie suits, and an orchestra playing as midnight approached. Instead of a descending ball, the new year was marked by a final sweeping dance and collective toast, each glass raised with hopes and wishes for the year ahead. These balls created an atmosphere of charm and festivity that set the social tone for the holiday. While formal New Year's balls are less common today, they once made the start of the year unforgettable. And as midnight struck, another tradition followed: a kiss for health and happiness. Midnight kissing as a health practice. Imagine the chill of midnight on New Year's Eve, surrounded by loved ones as the clock strikes 12 and everyone leans in for a kiss. Today, this gesture is a romantic tradition, but it once symbolized so much more. Early settlers believed that a kiss at midnight would ward off loneliness, illness, and misfortune, ushering in health and happiness for the coming year. In isolated rural communities, the warmth and connection of a kiss represented comfort during the long winter months ahead. Each kiss was a reminder that companionship could shield against life's hardships. Although today's New Year's kiss is often seen as purely romantic, its original intention was to bring everyone closer, ensuring no one faced the new year alone. This tradition remains a powerful reminder of the importance of human connection as we face the unknown. In some communities, this spirit extended to midnight visits with neighbors, sharing goodwill and luck. Knocking on neighbors' doors for luck. In the early 20th century, knocking on neighbors' doors at midnight was a cherished way to spread goodwill for the new year. As the clock struck 12, people would visit nearby homes, each carrying small gifts like bread, coins, or tokens of prosperity. These gestures symbolized hope for abundance, health, and success in the year ahead. Imagine friends and neighbors greeting each other in the cold, exchanging warm words and well wishes. In small, close-knit communities, this custom strengthened bonds, creating a sense of unity and belonging. It ensured that no one felt isolated, with each home linked by shared hopes and blessings. Over time, as New Year's celebrations grew more private, this tradition gradually disappeared. However, it remains a beautiful reminder of a time when midnight wasn't just a personal milestone, it was a community event, built on kindness and connection. Some families even took it further, airing out their homes to clear away the past year. Airing out the home picture. Households gathered at midnight, throwing open their windows and doors despite the cold, a shared moment of release and renewal. In early New Year's traditions, families believed that opening their homes to the fresh night air would sweep out the old year's energy and welcome in new beginnings. This ritual symbolized clearing away burdens, struggles, and negativity from the past year, inviting positivity and hope. Imagine the feeling of unity as families face the chilly air together, a literal and symbolic breath of fresh start. Although this tradition has largely faded, it once held deep meaning, creating a sense of lightness and optimism as families looked ahead. The act of airing out brought closure to the old year in a way that felt both tangible and deeply peaceful. Today, few still practice this, but its sentiment lives on, a reminder of the value of simplicity in embracing the New Year's promise. Caroling for New Year's, not Christmas. Imagine the sound of voices filling the cold night air, moving from door to door, not for Christmas, but to welcome the new year. Before Christmas, caroling became a widespread tradition. People would gather on New Year's Eve to sing songs that carried blessings and hopes for the year ahead. Neighbors joined together, singing hymns or folk tunes that invoked prosperity and good luck. Each open door greeted the carolers with smiles, creating a festive atmosphere of music and community spirit. For those who participated, these New Year's carols were a heartfelt way to close out the old year and bring in the new with harmony and shared joy. While this tradition faded as Christmas caroling rose in popularity, it remains a cherished memory in some regions. For those who embraced it, New Year's caroling was about more than music. It was about unity, and in some towns, that unity continued late into the night with all-night bonfires. All-night bonfires. In rural communities, all-night bonfires became a cherished way to celebrate the arrival of the new year. These gatherings were more than just fires. They symbolized warmth, light, and a collective hope for the future. Friends, families, and neighbors would gather around the crackling flames, staying up until dawn to share stories, sing songs, and cook over the fire. Imagine the comforting glow of the bonfire, laughter mingling with the sound of sparks, and friends huddling close against the winter chill. Each flame carried a sense of resilience and renewal, lighting the path into a hopeful year ahead. Though this tradition faded as New Year's celebrations moved indoors, it remains a vivid memory of togetherness and strength. For those who gathered around the fire, the New Year's bonfire was a beacon, guiding them forward. And in some towns, the spirit of celebration was brought into the streets with a colorful twist: Mummers' Day parades. Mummers' Day parades. Inspired by English and Irish customs, Mummers' Day parades brought a lively, theatrical energy to New Year's celebrations. Participants donned costumes, masks, and elaborate outfits, often performing skits, dances, and songs in town squares or on main streets. Imagine the streets filled with vibrant costumes, laughter, and music, each performer bringing joy to the gathered crowd. Mummers' costumes and masks allowed people to shed their everyday identities and embrace a spirit of joy and playfulness, making the parade an unforgettable part of the holiday. While mumming has evolved over time, Philadelphia's Mummers Parade keeps the tradition alive today, showcasing colorful costumes and joyful performances that celebrate the new year with spectacle and laughter. For those who participated, it was a day of unity and expression, a way to welcome the year with joy. But some communities welcomed the new year in a bracingly bold way by taking a cold New Year's dip. Imagine the thrill of diving into icy waters as the new year begins, a tradition that has become known as the polar plunge. Originally, this cold New Year's dip symbolized a fresh start, a way to cleanse oneself of the past year and embrace the challenges of the future. Families and friends would gather at the water's edge, ready to brave the freezing temperatures together. Each splash into the cold was a statement of courage and optimism, a shared experience that brought everyone closer. Today, the polar plunge is often an organized event, with participants taking the plunge for charity, but it still embodies the spirit of facing the new year head-on. For those who dared to take part, the cold dip represented energy, resilience, and unity. Yet for others, New Year's traditions took a cozier form, with candles burned as hopeful symbols for prosperity. Burning Bayberry candles. In colonial America, burning Bayberry candles on New Year's Eve was a cherished tradition believed to bring prosperity and good fortune for the year ahead. Bayberry wax was rare and highly valued, so a bayberry candle symbolized abundance and hope. Families would light these candles as evening fell, watching each flicker and flame with anticipation. It was believed that if the candle burned all the way down to its base by midnight, it would bring financial stability and blessings in the new year. Imagine the quiet room, the warm glow of the candle casting a soft light, and families sharing their hopes and intentions as the flame danced. Though largely forgotten today, bayberry candles can still be found in holiday markets, a reminder of simpler times when light and warmth signified hope. And while some traditions involved light, others involved the land itself, like planting wishes in the garden for future growth. Planting wishes in the garden. Imagine a family gathering in the backyard, bundled in warm clothes, each holding a small piece of paper with a hopeful wish written on it. In early New Year's traditions, families would plant these wishes in their garden, each slip of paper symbolizing a dream or goal for the coming year. Parents and children would work together, burying the wishes as if they were seeds, believing that as the garden grew, so would their hopes. This quiet, meaningful ritual connected families to nature, allowing them to start the year with a moment of unity and peace. For those who took part, each buried wish was a silent reminder that dreams, like plants, require patience and nurturing. Though largely replaced by vision boards or resolutions today, this tradition lives on as a symbol of the timeless human desire to see our dreams blossom. And for others, glimpses into the future came through the lighthearted fun of fortune books. Reading fortune books. Picture a lively New Year's gathering, laughter filling the room as guests pass around small, colorful books predicting their fortunes for the year. These fortune books offered playful insights based on one's birth month or initials, each page revealing fortunes about love, success, or unexpected adventures. As each person read their fortune aloud, friends and family joined in the amusement, exchanging lighthearted comments and enjoying the mystery of what the year might hold. Fortune books weren't about serious predictions, but a way to add joy and curiosity to New Year's celebrations. For guests, they provided a fun and engaging way to approach the unknown, a reminder that sometimes the future is best faced with a smile. Though rare today, fortune books captured the spirit of New Year's with laughter and optimism, a fitting end to the evening and a reminder that no matter what the future holds, hope and joy are timeless. Reflecting on these forgotten traditions, we see the timeless spirit of hope, unity, and renewal. This new year, let's carry forward their joy, share these stories, and keep the spirit alive.